Isn't do we need to open this meeting under an ORS? No, okay. I didn't think so, but I want to make sure I didn't screw that up.
We're live stream also, so
Yeah,
that's already moving.
yeah, I assumed. Yeah. Okay. Um, I think we are all here. It is now 6 o'clock, so I will open our um, special session of the Philomath School Board. This is specifically to address complaints received by the board. We now have two sets of complaints. The initial set that was regarding the social media post of board member Aaron Gudge. We have received, since the board accepted the six in basically the same session a week ago, we've now received two more. So the first action to take here is to determine how to proceed with those two new complaints. We'll start with that and then we'll go to part two. So I will open up the discussion on how to address those two complaints.
Well, I would like to make a motion that we accept those two additional complaints that came in after we met last time, and they will be handled in the same process as the original six. That's my motion.
So we would bundle them with the previous six and use the same hearing process that we are working to schedule for next week. Okay,
Correct.
That's the motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, thank you, Ryan. So with that, we, again, just to clarify, we are accepting those two most recent complaints. Those would be added to the previous six, and we would conduct a hearing on all of those per the decision last week for next Tuesday, which I'll talk about here at the end of this brief meeting. All right, we have a motion and a second. Unless there's other discussion, I'll call for the question. All those in favor? Aye. Okay, that's unanimous, 5-0. So we have adopted those two, or we've accepted those two, I should say, complaints, and we've built them. We'll build them into the existing complaint process we already have planned. The next topic is we have two additional complaints that are related to this issue, but very different. We have two individuals who are their complaint is that our process by which we are going through is inappropriate based on a freedom of speech claim. And so those complaints are not to Director Gudge, but are directed at the entire board and the process by which we are administering. And so same question, how does the board want to proceed with those? I'll open that up for discussion or a motion.
I'd like to make a motion that we deal with those two complaints against the board in a similar manner, but separate from the first six.
So we accept the board complaints rather than reject them, and we basically will deploy the same hearing process, but separated from the 6 complaints, or now the 8 complaints against Director Gudge.
Yes.
Okay, I have a motion.
I'll second that.
All right, Ryan, thank you. Motion and a second. Any questions or further discussion on this item? Okay,
No.
seeing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor of accepting these two, of Sandy's motion of accepting these two and building them into our existing hearing process? I'm seeing unanimous, so another 5-0 vote. Thank you very much, everyone. Okay, so with that, that'll close our official actions that we needed to take to address these most recent complaints received over the last few days. I will just announce here in this public session, as it is live streaming, that our plan is to conduct this hearing next Tuesday, October 7th, starting at 6 p.m. Because of the nature of the latest complaint about process, we would administer that first, and then we would go into the second hearing of the initial complaints against Director Gudge. But we will handle all of that as part of the October 7th meeting. All of the complainants, now the 8 plus 2, the 10 complainants, will get a message, a letter tomorrow, an email tomorrow from myself confirming this decision and then outlining the process and how they will contribute to that. They will have the option of both getting in additional written comments by the end of this week if they so desire. And then, of course, they'll have the chance to make verbal testimony for 10 minutes each in the in-person hearing, the public hearing scheduled for next Tuesday, the 7th. And the location we're finalizing, we want to make sure we have a good environment for this meeting. So we'll get that determined and before those letters go out. I'll be working with the superintendent on that. With that, that was the agenda, the business for the day. Is there any additional comments or questions that any board member or Susan wants to bring up? And I should have specified this at the beginning. Yep. Okay. No, great. And I should have specified at the beginning, I was facilitating this discussion as the initial complaints were against Director Gudge. So I, as vice chair, am running this process. We will have to determine who runs the other two complaints, which are not against Director Gudge, but are against the entire board. So we will sort that out here in the next couple of days. But again, they will be part of that same hearing meeting, at least that same evening, the 7th. So, okay. Seeing no other business, I will adjourn the meeting at 6:06, and we will see everyone next Tuesday.
Thank you,
Thank you
Tom.
all. Thank you.
Bye, thank you.